Cloak and Dagger suck is what you may have seen or heard if you keep up with tier lists made by popular content creators. But they're wrong. I'm not saying that Cloak and Dagger are the strongest strategists, but they are by no means the weakest. Cloak and Dagger is a great pick for ranks because they have a pretty high carry potential when compared to the other main healers. This is simply because they have a higher and more reliable damage output since you don't need to aim, plus a playmaking ultimate that deals damage and can be used to push objectives. You might find yourself playing Rocket, Luna or Invisible Woman and finding it hard to win even though you're pumping out so much healing. Well, Cloak and Dagger is the answer to all your problems as you can quickly swap to deal damage, meaning that you don't have to rely on your teammates as much. They are a very easy pick, but you can get so much value out of them. In this video, we'll cover their strengths, their weaknesses, when to pick them, and how to get the best value out of their kit. First, let's go over Cloak and Dagger's strengths. I'll give them all a number so we can count just how many advantages they have that you may not have considered. Number 1. Easily heal flying allies. I'm sure we've all had those experiences where your storm is perma-dying. It's super annoying to keep adjusting your aim to the sky. The time you spend having to line up your heals to your flying ally usually results in someone dying, as you're not healing your units on the ground in that time. It can be very hard to heal your flyers when they are flying around erratically like Human Torch and Iron Man. Dagger eliminates this problem as your shots will automatically lock onto your flyers, unlike Luna Snow or Loki for example. Number 2. Easily heal dive allies. It's super hard to hit a flying Spider-Man or Venom, and that's if you're even in range. Dagger's lock-on heals are perfect to make sure you're always hitting your shots. Even the best players will find it hard to consistently heal allies with high mobility. Number 3. Her heals bend around walls and bounce off surfaces, meaning you can heal allies who aren't in line of sight of you, which also allows you to position yourself more safely. Dagger is one of the few strategists in the game who can do this. Number 4. Long range heals. Adding on to the previous strength, Dagger's heals will extend past your targeting radius. You can try to directly hit your allies with your daggers from far away, or rebound your daggers off of a wall from far away to hit your allies. A lot of players forget you can do this and will only fire when the auto-aim targets an ally. Number 5. AoE heals. Dagger does consistent AoE healing, meaning that she thrives when you have 2 tanks or more groups up together. Some other strategists have temporary AoE healing which they have to use an ability for, or they have smaller range such as Luna and Loki. Dagger's Veil of Light Force and Bubble increases healing even more, which leads us on to the next strength. Number 6. Fast charging ultimate. If your allies are grouped up, Dagger can charge her ultimate incredibly fast. I often find myself building it way before anyone else in the game. This is a good opportunity to pop it first and encourage your team to push an objective or get a pick. If I choose to ult for this purpose, I'll usually push as far into the enemy backline as possible and pressure their healers. It's usually an easy elimination if you can isolate one of them. Cloak ultimate is the only healer ultimate that actually deals damage in itself, which often gets overlooked, especially when you hit the enemy with Cloak's vulnerability effect, meaning that they take more damage. Unlike other healer ultimates, Cloak ulti will usually force the enemy out of a specific area since it's pretty hard to sustain on top of. The next strengths are focused on peeling for yourself and your other strategists, which is a huge thing to consider for Season 2 of Marvel Rivals with the press W meta, as I like to call it. It's usually a contest of which team can jump on the healers faster and take them out, so it's imperative that you know how best to peel for yourself on every strategist you play. Number 7. Self-healing. Dagger has not one but 2 ways of healing herself. Option number 1 is her healing bubble, which lasts for 6 seconds and heals for 55 per second. And the second option is her primary fire. You can use the AoE heal when hitting an ally or a teammate to heal yourself as long as you're in range, which a lot of C&D players seem to forget about. Now if you're being dove and you're in a 1v1 situation, dropping your healing bubble and throwing your daggers at the enemy provides incredible sustain. You can whittle their health bar down and stall time long enough for an ally to help, or simply just kill them yourself, which leads us on to our next point. Number 8. Cloak's damage. Throw out your Terror Cape and start sucking on them with Cloak's primary fire while inside of your bubble. You'll be surprised how often you'll win the 1v1. You don't have to aim, whereas the enemy most likely will have to, which gives you the edge. Apart from peeling for yourself, you should be aiming to throw out Terror Cape whenever you can by weaving it in when you're healing your allies. The enemies will take an additional 28% damage for 3 seconds and are blinded, which actually creates pretty huge kill potential and is definitely underestimated by many players. Number 9. Dark Teleportation. This ability can have a huge impact. You can make yourself immune to damage, which comes in handy when trying to dodge enemy ultimates. Some examples are Magneto, Iron Man, and Jeff. You can also make your allies immune as long as they don't take any other action in the effect, which will break them out of it. But that's not your problem. Did you know you can cloak immune your allies who are already stunned in a Doctor Strange ultimate? Dark Teleportation is also great for self-peel, as this gives you 2 seconds of damage immunity, which gives you time to reposition yourself. My advice is to try and reach higher ground where enemies might not be able to reach you, or try to reach your allies so that they can help you. For the final strength, number 10. Good team up. While their team up with Moon Knight isn't essential for a team composition, it definitely enhances his gameplay, especially if he's a good player. He can heal himself and go invisible and not always have to rely on a strategist. Now let's talk about C&D's weaknesses. They are important to be aware of, and I'll offer advice where I can. Number 1. 250 health. This is less than Luna and Invisible Woman, which definitely makes her easy to pick off on that principle, so try to stay as far back as you can without isolating yourself from the team if you need help. Number 2. Cooldowns. You will have noticed that Dagger's healing is very slow if you're just using her primary fire. She relies on her bubble and Veil of Light Force to achieve the same healing output as her strategist counterparts. They both have a cooldown of 12 seconds, which can feel like a pretty long time in a battle. I usually throw out my Veil of Life Force whenever my teammates are starting to take a lot of damage. It's usually better to use it on your tanks to get the most value out of it. And you also want to be lining up as many allies as possible when you cast it. Don't be shy to use it, as it's a huge part of Dagger's healing output. For her healing bubble, your main consideration is your own health bar and your own survivability. If you're pretty sure you're going to be okay and there are no pesky divers about to jump on your face, throw out your bubble to heal your teammates. It's about assessing what characters the enemy team has and their gameplay patterns. Some games you may not even be dove on. For example, the enemy might be running Punisher Namor and just shooting your tanks. So make sure you're not just sitting there saving your bubble the entire game if this is the case. Using both the bubble and the veil at the same time provides a very strong healing output. But overall, the more experience you get on C&D, the more comfortable you'll get with their cooldowns and sustaining yourself with your primary fire rather than using your bubble all the time. The next few points are about their ultimate. Number 3. Small AoE ultimate. C&D's ultimate does not cover a huge area instantly upon cast, like Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, and Mantis do. You have to dash around a few times to cover the same area. You can combat this by making sure that you are ulting close to your teammates or even dashing on top of them. Try not to layer your dashes where possible, as C&D ulti no longer gives stacking, healing, and damage. If you're ulting defensively, make sure you cover as much of the floor as possible. Try to give one dash to each area of your team, meaning your first dash should usually be to help your healer, since you're probably very close to them anyways. Then dash to the front line as quick as you can to cover your tanks, then use your 2 final dashes to cover any DPS players that can't get in your other dashes. If you're ulting offensively, then ignore everything I just said and dash straight into the enemy backline with no thoughts, which takes us on to our next point. Number 4. Magneto. Every C&D player knows that Magneto ulti is our worst nightmare. They usually hold their ultimate until you use yours and then dunk on your head, which cancels your heals for your whole team and kills you. But there are ways to combat this. If you start your C&D ulti in cloak form, you will be able to use your dark teleportation quicker when you finish your final dash, instead of having to swap forms. This might give you enough time to save yourself. You can also use your dark teleportation to fly into the air and then cast your ultimate. This will likely confuse the Magneto, since he'll be looking for you on the ground, and it will be harder to hit you since he needs a direct hit and he doesn't have any surface to shoot at when you're suspended in the air. And finally, you want to be tracking the enemy Magneto ultimate and aim to use yours when you know his ultimate is down, just to be safe. Number 5. Other ultimate threats. Let's list them off. Iron Man ultimate, Moon Knight ultimate, Hawkeye headshot, Scarlet Witch ultimate, the Center of Namor ultimate, and Emma Frost can pull you out of your healing zone with her kick and her utility. This is just a small list, but let me know if you've been one-shot by anything else in your Cloak ultimate. For most threats, you can use the tactics we just spoke about, but what I find works the best is simply just dashing behind walls or into buildings with your final dash. Number 6. Allies. Your ranked teammates are very unpredictable, so quite often you might find your allies refusing to play inside your healing field and dying right next to it, whereas Luna Snow, for example, can move around in her ultimate to make sure your goofy teammates don't die. And there's not much you can do to combat this except for trying to literally dash on top of your teammates. And finally, number 7 doesn't heal some ultimates very well. There are some ultimates that have an extremely long range, and they will usually be able to pick off your allies before they can get into your C&D ultimate if they're not playing close to the team. One that immediately pops into my head is Star-Lord. If your team is having trouble against his ultimate, you might want to consider switching off of C&D, as a Lunar Snow or Invisible Woman ultimate might counter the Star-Lord better. So in conclusion, Cloak and Dagger can actually be an amazing pick if you remember these top tips. Number 1, weave in your Terror Cape when you have to reload while healing. Number 2, be mindful of ulting close to your teammates. I see way too many C&D players ulting into Narnia to counter a Star-Lord ultimate, for example. If you're using your ultimate defensively, don't expect your teammates to do the hopscotch to get into it. Number 3, try to use your bubble and your Veil of Light Force very regularly, and save your bubble when you think you're going to get doved by the enemy to peel for yourself. And number 4, utilize the healing field on your primary fire to also heal yourself. While Cloak and Dagger isn't the best healer on paper or in the meta right now, as I would give these spots to Loki and Invisible Woman, they are very strong in solo queue when you want to have impact on the game and not just heal bot. If you get the hang of dropping your bubble and using your daggers to heal yourself when you get dove, you'll have some great success in Season 2. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this analysis of Cloak and Dagger was useful to you and helps you in your games. Remember to like, comment and subscribe for more videos just like this one. I also stream on Twitch if you want to watch me in real time, and I'll see you guys soon.